Now, what about the suspension of Parliament? He's claiming, Boris Johnson is, that he will suspend Parliament again. Can he do that now, in light of this ruling?
Well, he can do so. I think he has the right to prorogue Parliament again. No doubt the courts will have their say again on this matter, but certainly as the Prime Minister, he has the right to call for the suspension of Parliament once again, and we'll have to see what happens. Certainly, Johnson is holding that out as a possibility right now.
Well, if no deal can be made with the EU, what happens to the British economy? I mean, this was the same thing that was hanging over Theresa May's head.
Yeah, so if Britain exits under a no-deal scenario on October the 31st, Britain is going to do just fine outside of the European Union under a no-deal scenario. It simply means that Britain trades with the rest of the world under World Trade Organization terms. And Britain is the world's 5th largest economy. There's a huge amount of foreign investment continuing to flow into Britain in the Brexit era. I think Britain's going to do very, very well outside of the EU under a no-deal scenario. And already President Trump has indicated that the United States is going to fully support Great Britain, deal or no deal with the EU.
And this is a great segue. This is Boris Johnson and Donald Trump this week at the UN General Assembly talking about trade between the two countries. Watch.
We can quadruple our trade with UK, and we can, I think, really do a big job. Bob Lighthizer is here, our trade representative. Your trade representative is here, and they're already scheduled today to continue negotiations.
And I certainly hope that we can make a lot of progress quite fast on trade.
The UK, depending on its trade with the US, it could actually see a boost in its economy.
Yeah,
and other countries.
Absolutely. I think that a US-UK free trade deal would be great for both the US and the British economy. Already, over 1 million Britons rely upon US companies for their jobs, and vice versa. We have a huge amount of trade investment between the world's largest and 5th largest economies. A US-UK free trade deal would further advance that trade and investment across the Atlantic, creating a lot of additional jobs for British and American workers. So this is a win-win situation for both sides. President Trump is 100% committed to a US-UK free trade agreement. That's great news for Brexit Britain.
Yeah. The president ratcheted up the tough talk against China this week, also at the UN. I want to play a little bit of this for you and then get your reaction on how this plays in Britain. How important is the US cracking down on China for its trade violations? How does that affect the UK? Watch.
The American people are absolutely committed to restoring balance to our relationship with China. Hopefully we can reach an agreement that would be beneficial for both countries. But as I have made very clear, I will not accept a bad deal for the American people.
The implication here is he won't accept a bad deal for the rest of the world either, because if the United States were to accept it, really the rest of the world would have to go along.
Yeah, I think Britain has an interest in China playing by the rules that everyone else follows on the world stage, and China has been playing by the rules for many, many decades. And President Trump has said enough is enough. And certainly I think the United Kingdom would benefit from China changing its behavior. And also I think the United Kingdom would benefit from a China that also does not seek to steal intellectual property, for example, or infiltrate the security networks through 5G, for example.
Right.
And so I think that it's in Britain's interest for a China to play by the rules that everyone else plays by on the international stage. At the same time, though, I think that Great Britain would be concerned, though, about a larger trade war that could possibly come in. So certainly the UK would like to see a US-China trade deal, but the Chinese really have to make significant concessions for that to happen.
I want to